This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Joining us today is David Nixad, the founder and chairman of EI Ventures, who are listing early April on the Nasdaq with the ticker PSLY, and the company's name will change at that point to psly.com, silly.com. So hello David, welcome on to Stockbox. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm certainly very interested to be talking about you and the company and what you're all about. So first of all, if I could ask you to perhaps just give us the elevator pitch, the introduction to the company and what you're all about.
Our number one desire is to bring access of therapeutic plant-based psychedelics to the market. And when we look at the market, we always reference 1 billion people. And the idea of individuals having access at a cost in a market where 50%, especially in the United States, don't have insurance, and in the rest of the world, probably, insurance doesn't exist.
Okay. And is it the mental health problem that you're addressing here?
It is.
And so can you give us a bit of an idea about the mental health issue then? What is going on? What's the market opportunity like for working with health and treating people for mental health problems?
We announced the closing of our pre-IPO on Monday, and our IR company was closed. So all of a sudden, people found my cell phone on specific websites on the interwebs. I got almost 100 calls on Monday, and the topic of conversation was people discussing with me that anybody that tells you that they don't have a level of trauma in their life is almost kidding themselves. And I think when we talk about mental health, EI Ventures represents emotional intelligence. And I think that we have not done a great job as a society teaching human beings about empathy and conducting themselves in empathetic fashions towards other human beings. So really, it's beyond mental health. It's an idea of empathy and seeing things out of other people's lenses.
Okay. And do you think this issue has always been prevalent in human society, and it's just maybe easier to talk about it now? We seem to be reading a lot more about mental health problems, and people seem more open to talk about them. Do you think it's just more accepted now to talk about this?
I think, with the internet today and, decentralization and what I call digital energy, the idea that the world is moving faster. We are all super connected. It's kind of unbelievable how connected we are. We're open to speak about things. People are authentic to who they are. I don't think it has anything to do with, it today. I think it's been going on for a very long time. I don't get into religious attributes. I grew up in a religious family, but even if you reference things in scripture, they discuss plant-based psychedelics.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we come to talk about plant-based psychedelics, and what is it that your company is looking to develop?
What got us interested in this was originally my co-founder and I had moved to the island of Maui, and we were developing a health and retreat center. And we started meeting individuals that were taking plants, extracting specific alkaloids out of those plants, and turning to what I would call Western medicine wasn't working. So these shamans or kitchen chemists were using plants to treat different things, from cancer to HIV to mental health. And we just got very interested in it. And we determined we were going to learn everything we could about it. My background is I've been an investor for 25 years. My co-founder has been a lawyer for 30 years. And we were like, we both have situations in our lives where we have had trauma. And I think the island of Maui draws people, draws people that are looking for something, looking for relief.
Okay. And how far down the path are you then on the development of a product?
I mean, we are very far down the path. I mean, we have dozens of different products, but our main product is what we consider a nano super compound of what people talk about as psilocybin, which is the alkaloid inside of a magic mushroom that gives you a entourage or hallucinogenic effect. What we have come to figure out over the last 10 years is that not everybody wants to go on a big hallucination journey or, kind of be out of their mind. How would we come up with something that could be used by young people, old people, everyone that wanted to work on trauma in their life? And what we came up with was a compound that would be extracted with the technology of today, where you could take 1 milligram or 5 milligrams and have a entourage effect journey at a controlled or boundary type therapeutic session.
Okay, and taking this will help people to work through mental problems or address the problem directly?
Absolutely. I mean, again, there are lots of studies going on around the world by, Imperial College in the UK and John Hopkins and Stanford. So we are at what I would call the late stages of this, because this was worked on 100 years ago, but we are still at the early stages, because what is happening now is people are taking the work of people from 50 years ago and 100 years ago and saying, wow, we knew this would help. Now let's apply it to the world of today. So I think I love watching old and new things coming together.
Okay. So I wonder if you can give us an idea of the market size that you're going after, and also your approach to it, what products you're going to develop and how you're going to bring them to market in a timely fashion.
Yeah, I mean, everything for us at this point is real scalability. And I think that with Web3 and the metaverse and digital energy, we are at a place where you can take open source technologies, and where we are with biotech and what took place with COVID, where you can fast track certain things, where today we could see these products to market very, very quickly. Now, I consider us a toolbox or a holding company of different things that you would use or need in your development of working on yourself, whether that is a therapeutic session with psilocybin, or that's exercise or meditation or supplements. My co-founder and I are both biohackers of ourselves. That's what we've done to ourselves for 30 years. So it comes down to what type of frequency you want to put into your body.
Okay. And when it comes to things like legal processes and the legal element around psychedelics, what is your approach to that? I think more in terms of medicinal cannabis, and finally we're starting to see that being more and more accepted, but it's taken a very, very, very long time. Where are we, do you think, in the legal stages of using psychedelics more openly in medicine?
We are at the very beginning stages. I have always said our company was the 1% that always said that yes, the FDA standard is a must, but the reality of it is to get these products into markets, it would be state legislation of real plant products. We never believed. My co-founder and I have been in the cannabis space for 20 years. My co-founder and I worked on cannabis in California when it first started with Prop 64. And we understood that an FDA timeline of raising $500 million and a 15-year cycle was not going to be a reality for where we are at today. Could you imagine with COVID waiting a decade to actually get something for people? It wouldn't work. There would be a lot of people that would not be alive. And we are in that same situation today where states like Oregon and 23 other states have passed legislation for these types of medicines. Now, the laws haven't been built, the protocols haven't been built, but the beautiful part about it is with blockchain and other technologies, we're going to be able to build better systems than where we were at with cannabis.
Okay. And do you see the legal hurdles as a potential risk to the company?
No, not at all. I think that we are in, again, a different stage in the world. I mean, we are a company that employs 10 lawyers pretty much full time to work on this project. Our general counsel was the lieutenant governor's general counsel that did all the cannabis legislation in Utah. So I think it all comes down to the team that you have on board. Our number one thing in our company is doing things by the letter of the law. We understand that cannabis and psychedelics are still Schedule 1s. We understand psychedelics are not products like ketamine, which are dissociatives that are Schedule 3s. These are products that will make you hallucinate. They need to be done under a therapeutic environment, and we are building for that today.
Okay. I wonder if we can just look a little bit into your background. You mentioned you were an investor for over 20 years. What can you tell us about your background then leading up to leading this company?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a family of, I would say, doctors slash investors slash commercial real estate developers. So I came from a family of investors and what I would say risk takers. I've spent the last 25 years as an angel investor. I've invested in well over 200 companies at seed stage level. The company that actually owns the majority of EI Ventures is a holding company. It's my family's holding company. We are invested in blockchain protocols, crypto space, healing modalities, psychedelics, plant-based foods. I think the reality of it is you know, I'm Jewish by religion, so I say this in tongue in cheek. I don't want to be the rabbi that goes on the cruise ship and eats bacon and then goes back to the synagogue and says, "Don't eat bacon." I think you got to practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm. And if people would like to take part in the IPO, what's the best way for them to do that?
So if you go to psly.com, psly.com, you can actually go to that website. You will see our SEC filing. So technically, if you guys are going to put this out to your audience, we need to give you the link for our most up-to-date Edgar filing. And then you can basically, we update the site every day. So it's pretty well updated and it will take you down the storyboard of who we are, what we're doing, and how we plan to be a company that treats 1 billion people.
Okay. And just a final thought then on a timeline. What does a timeline look like in terms of development?
It's an everyday process. I mean, when do I see products being able to be actually used in the market? I mean, right now, the company that we are merging with has a presence in Jamaica. So we do see Jamaica as a place where these products can be sold. We are also working very closely with a number of companies that will roll up into our umbrella, which are located in Oregon. So Oregon, I would say, as far as the United States, that is our number one priority for people to be able to go to a state that allows you to have therapeutic use of a real psychedelic.
Okay. And are there any other players in this space at the moment? Do you see this space growing exponentially fairly soon?
Well, the space has grown. I mean, there were 300 companies predominantly out of Canada that went public. There were 2 companies out of the UK, and those companies lost almost 80% of their value as of last week because, as I've been saying for the last probably 3 to 4 years, this is not an arena to have people that are, this is not a pump and dump type of business. You need people that are going to be on board long term. When we look at Silly, we look at it as a community. We've really studied a lot of, I mean, we were looking at this 5 years ago. We were looking at crypto and blockchain, and how to build things like DAOs that will allow us to build communities around the silly product. And one of the things that we determined a long time ago is silly might be a free product. We don't even know if we're going to charge for it, but we will figure out how to make money as a community, whether that's on clothing or meditation apps or AR, VR technology. This is a product that can actually be manufactured cheaply if it doesn't go through the hurdles of big regulatory processes.
Okay. Well, David Nixad, the founder and chairman of EI Ventures, soon to be Silly.com, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.